Imagine growing up knowing nothing, not your mother's name, not your father's name, not why you were taken, not why you were separated from your siblings, nothing. Just a blank space where your origin story should have been. Today, we're going to fill in that blank for Amanda, and what we uncovered will absolutely break your heart and heal it at the same time. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to DNA Angels channel. My name is Lori, and I'm a volunteer search angel at DNA Angels. Today, I'm going to share a story filled with loss, resilience, and long-awaited answers. This is Amanda's story. Now, Amanda was born back in 1970, and before she was even a year old, she was only about 8 months old. She and her older brother were both taken away from the family by CPS. They were placed into an orphanage, separated from their mother, and separated from each other's futures. Eventually, Amanda went to a foster home and was ultimately adopted by that foster family. And her brother was adopted by a different family. So Amanda and her brother were later reunited, but heartbreakingly, he knew just as little as she did. So neither of them had any information about their biological family. No medical history, no origins, no story, just questions. So Amanda came to DNAngels hoping and praying to finally find out who she was, where she came from, and whether her parents might still be alive. And really, what the circumstances were to take them away from their family and place them into adoption. She didn't even know if her parents were married. She really, literally knew nothing. So we started working on her case. We had no idea which side was the maternal side, which side was the paternal side, but we just picked a side and started to build. And so on the side that we chose, we were able to find the two great grandparent groups. So for this story, we'll call one of the grandparent couples the Knights and the Lewis family, and the other great grandparent pair we'll call Miller and Price. Now, the Knight and Lewis matches come together with the Miller and Price matches when a child from each of those couples marries. So in this case, Walter Knight married Vera Miller, and that makes them our grandparents. Now, Walter and Vera had 3 children. They had 2 sons and 1 daughter. We'll call the daughter Karen. So we were able to eliminate Karen as Amanda's mother because her grandchild had tested and she matched Amanda as a cousin, not as a niece. So that meant Karen could not be in that parent slot. So that just left the 2 sons, who we'll call Jack, who is still living, and Clyde, who had sadly passed away a few years ago. So only having 2 sons as the possible father, we automatically knew that this was the paternal side. Now, the DNA at this point won't take us any further without testers from a family member of one of those 2 men or Jack himself. So we decided to go and take a look on the other side, the maternal side, now knowing that that was the maternal side. So we started to look at those matches and build the tree. And we noticed that one of the families, we'll call the Graysons, sounded very familiar. We remembered seeing Graysons on the paternal side. And so I went back to see where those Graysons were, and there it was, plain as day. Karen, that daughter of the family that we had found, she had married a man by the last name of Grayson. And on top of that, Clyde, one of her brothers, had also married a Grayson, a woman who we'll call Erica. So Karen and Clyde, sister and brother, had married two Grayson siblings. And we already knew that Karen couldn't be the mother, which meant that her husband, that Grayson, couldn't be the father. So we were able to eliminate that Grayson. So then we knew that Clyde had to be the biological father, and his wife, Erica Grayson, was the birth mother, was biological mother. So it was unquestionable we had found our mother and father for Amanda. So now it's time to do a deep dive into this family and see what we could find out. Well, we found from the genealogical records that Clyde and Erica were married from 1967 to 1972. That's the exact window in which Amanda was born. Remember, she was born right about 1970. And they had another child during that marriage as well, and that would be that older brother of Amanda's. Now, Clyde, after the divorce, remarried in 1984, and he was still married to that wife when he passed away. Now, Erica, on the other hand, she had married multiple times, and guess what? She is still living today. Now, that might be the end of the story, but then came the moment that really tied everything together. We always like that nice, objective evidence that sort of puts everything together. And there it was in black and white. There was a newspaper article from 1971, and it was titled Warning Notice. And it read, Mrs. Erica Knight, and to all it may concern. Take notice that on this 8th day of January 1971, a petition was filed in probate court to have a judge-appointed guardian for the purpose of consenting to the adoption of Mark Lee Knapp and Mark Lee Knight and Rebecca Renee Knight. Unless you appear within 30 days and show cause against this application, the petition shall be taken as confessed and a decree granted. There it was, the truth, the names, the timeline, the legal record explaining everything that happened to these children. And it had their actual true birth names, the names that they were given prior to their adopted family and having their names changed. For Amanda, seeing this article was really life-changing. It gave her answers that she had lived without for 50 plus years. She now knew the chaos, the marital collapse, the instability, the removal, the separation, the adoption. It was all right there. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't ideal, but it was real. That realness, the truth, able to see the information. Now, sometimes DNA Angels finds joyful reunions. Sometimes we find families eager to welcome somebody into the home, and sometimes we find the truth behind a painful past. But really, whatever it is, for our clients, the truth is really what they crave the most. They don't care what the truth is or how or painful it may or may not be, but it's the truth. And it's something that they've been searching for their entire life. So Amanda now has the name of her biological parents, their history, her birth name, and the answers she really has searched for her entire life. Her biological mother, Erica, is still living, and Amanda has been given that contact information to reach out if and when she's ready. Now, her biological father, Clyde, as I mentioned, had passed, but his widow, who he married many years after divorce from Erica, she may be willing and able to share stories, photos, and pieces of Clyde's life for Amanda. And so she hasn't reached out yet, and that's okay. This literally just unfolded. She can take her time to reach out if she chooses to. When the truth finally appears, you sort of need to take a breath, step back, absorb everything and decide what to do next. And so at least Amanda has that choice now. She has her story, she has her identity, really everything that she ever hoped for. So, if Amanda's courage touched your heart today, please show her some love. Drop a pink heart in the comment section, swipe that hype button, and leave her a message of support, just letting her know that she has the support of this community. Because their stories matter, their answers matter, and every time you engage with our videos, you help DNA Angels reach more people searching for their truth. So I want to thank you so much for being here, for supporting our mission, for listening to Amanda's story, and for supporting her. So until next time, keep searching.